So there's no way for us to get distilled water on here.
Pee it out and piss in your mouth.
I did that tonight.
Orange juice, coconut water.
Oh yeah.
There was a girl that knew anything about urine, just pounded pure orange juice for 6 months, had the exact same fountain youth type effects. You let the body clean out, and it makes no mistakes. You give it the time to clean out, and it will. It'll do it for you. You don't have to ask questions. It doesn't matter if you believe in urine or not. It's going to do its job. Because you didn't know whether to believe it when you were a baby or not, and it still did its job.
What about the smell?
Of urine?
Yeah, when you're putting it on you.
Well,
say you put it in your hair or like you said, go to bed at night, you don't
first of all, the smell of it is your fault. That's,
like
you can have coconut scented water once you fully clean out. And yes, if you're in the state when you're dealing with it, where it's smelly, it pretty much goes into skin, but it will stay on hair. So we do, yeah.
Yeah, and this is why I don't recommend, I know you and I are different on some of the particulars, but this is why I don't recommend eating meat, because meat gives your urine a very rancid smell, and I'm a urinitarian, some of you may have heard my talk earlier, I've been doing this for years. I stopped for a while, but I got back into it, and if your diet's good, your urine really is not so bad, and the way that I acclimated myself to it is you start taking some in your mouth and swishing it around. And don't swallow it and then spit it out. So you're like mouthwash, a little spit, And then after a while, a week, you take a little swallow. It's like, oh, because now you're acclimated to the taste. And then, eventually you start a little sip, then a little bigger sip, and then pretty soon you can drink a whole glass. And I always say drink it while it's warm. You don't want to let the fresh stuff for drinking more than 10 minutes. The warmer, the better, I find.
I, to this day, still gag sometimes. I drink it over sink because of the miseducation. Sometimes you just, what am I doing? But, the more you understand it, you can override that gag. The more you start to understand it, and when you see the effects.
You can mix it with fruit juice.
You can cut it with fruit juice. And just 1 inch of orange juice will dilute it.
What about essential oils? No one can't stand the smell of it. A little essential oil in it and baking it that way?
We put tiger balms when we're doing the really aged urine. We put a little tiger balm under each nose. That camphor really cuts it. That's the aged stuff. I mean, the fresh stuff really doesn't sink that much.
So are we actually in the question phase already?
Sure.
Okay, so then could you please repeat the 7
Repeat the 7 antis of urine.
Oh, okay.
And it might be more than that, but viral, bacterial, fungal, parasite, cancer, tuberculosis, anti-poison. Basically anti-everything that's not you. It's really magical. In India, it's called Shivambu, the water of Shiva. Shiva the destroyer, Shiva the protector. God Shiva protects everything that is you, destroys everything that is not you.
For me, the most important thing to remember about urine is it comes from filtering your blood. It's a byproduct of filtering your blood. I used to think it came from the intestines too. It was the watery part of our thesis. I had that huge misconception. Most people have that misconception. It is totally sterile. If you're hiking and you have a cut, alcohol's still better. But if you don't have alcohol, second best is your urine.
Urine's better.
You think urine's better than alcohol?
Not nearly.
Okay. Okay, well,
And the urea, there's human growth hormone in urine, and basically switches up.
I'll buy that.
Urine also is a blood clotter. It will clot your wound if it needs to, but it also has urokinase in it, and the Chinese are making millions a year collecting all the urine from the public urinals and selling to the pharmaceutical companies with a big miracle blood unclotter called urokinase.
Does that wrong?
You could use my dog's piss to cure yourself of cancer.
I wanted to say a little. When I was in India in 2005, I think, in Aurora, there was some young woman there who convinced me to start doing the drinking my urine. Somehow she convinced me that. I'd thought about it before, but I just never had the nerve. So I started it, and I just started drinking it without swirling it around in my mouth. Just drink a cup of it in the morning. And I was first of all surprised that it didn't taste near as bad as I thought it would. It didn't have I thought it would have a horrible texture, but it didn't. It's just like water. And so I did it for 9 months. And then and the reason I was doing it is because I have hepatitis C. And the doctor in 2000 did a biopsy and said my liver was stage 3 out of stage 4. I didn't have any symptoms, but the liver was right next to death score. So I thought I would just go the alternative way and eat organic, homegrown food, which I did in this community, and live a healthy life. And then after 3 or 4 years, I had a test in Rotterdam, and they said my liver was normal now, that you don't have to worry about dying from your liver. You don't have to do interferon, which I had always said before. So I thought, I was thinking, well, I don't really know what made it. I lived healthfully. I took in the beginning a lot of herbs that are good for that sort of thing. And then I did the 9 months of urine. But now you're making me think maybe it was a
One basic line to remember to answer every question about every illness. When you saturate the body with distilled liquids, all cells normalize. All cells normalize. Including every little eyeball cell, every little liver cell, and all will regenerate and become brand new again.
That's a comment and then a question.
Yeah.
The comment is that I just find it really interesting how there's a lot of awake and aware people here that are really open to a lot of ideas. And I had a conversation with you about this about a week ago. You got me all excited, and it's a tough wall to break down. Not even the urine thing, but just the distilled water. I get like 90% of the people that I know. Really interesting because you laid it all out really well.
Well, when you've got all the world supposed health organizations dumbing down this information, you got to be brave to stand and go, oh, I don't believe that. And the way you can do it is by studying urine therapy. You have a question?
Yeah, the question is, could you talk a little bit about grounding in conjunction? Weren't you talking about grounding as well?
But on that note, the grounding, let's explode, okay? I'm going to ask you, why are we all here? We want to win a vibrational war, maybe? Seems like we're getting our asses kicked and a lot of freaks out there. What's the main target of fluoride? Right. 5 to 10 parts per million throughout most of the body. When you do an autopsy, 22,000 parts per million. That's a tiny gland. Most Americans, you take an X-ray of the brain, it's supposed to be pure white. I've seen these X-rays. There's a black rock. And that's the pineal gland. That's your third eye, your satellite dish to God. What does it do to the pineal gland? It calcifies it. Do we wish we had something that dissolved mineral deposits? What if all these high vibrating individuals here were doing everything that they're doing and they're learning everything that they learned about, but they cleaned out the temple first? The body is the temple. When a spark plug is dirty, right? It doesn't fire very well. Got all those deposits on it? Clean it, and it fires really well, right? When your engine's running terrible in your car, do you pour sand in the tank? No, you pour engine cleaner in it. And it fires like really well. You want to take a stunt car, and you want to go on the side, you want to go fast, you want to jump. You got to have that car in perfect condition to be able to do all this stuff. This is what this knowledge does to our bodies.